Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your North American Super 125K 20 teams here, and we are going down to our top 8. In fact, the next matchup here, whoever wins this not only makes it into the top 8, but is guaranteed pool play at Orlando. I'm Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I got my man with the pretty eyes and the pretty smile, Tim. How you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic, Tony. My name is Active, of course, as Tony said, and we've got G2 Esports versus EXO here right now. And let me tell you something. I got to talk to Bid Teaches before this matchup just to ask him how he's feeling. And he said this. He said, we're an extremely fast team, and we do not respect who we play. That's what he told me, Tony.
Oh. You know, I heard you're supposed to respect your. I heard you're supposed to respect your opponent. You know, okay, EXO, that's a lot coming out of Bid Teachers and friends. But you know what? I think at this level of competition, you have to come in with that confidence. You have to come and walk around with that swagger. And clearly, EXO not lacking any bit of it. But will that be enough to take down like the likes of G2? Because you know, I heard they got a secret weapon of their own coming all the way from ANZ. Barcode is on G2 Esports.
Yeah, Barcode's looking really good right now, and this team on G2, they don't have a lot of practice, but let me tell you something that Coach Cal has told me. Oddball is their strongest objective game type. They were able to win Oddball on the streets against G1 in that winners bracket. They ended up losing the series 3-1, but their only win was Oddball. Let's see if they can replicate that here on Oddball Recharge. We're gonna find out right now, Tony.
First time we're seeing EXO on the screen and on the stream, and a lot of you guys may not be familiar with these boys. Bid Teachers and Shokoye putting in that work, grinding out in those sauna 8s, putting in that work and getting their names out there. Meanwhile, Alex Shock comes from that Red Bulls roster that formerly reverse swept Oxygen Esports to make it into pro bracket in Kansas City. And then Huss is formerly of Torrent. So EXO, a little new to the scene, but looking to kind of make their names known here and on the backs of G2 Esports, who already have themselves some early control.
Like you said, this is for a lot more than that $125,000 pool. It's for top 8 and a pool spot at the Orlando LAN, the major. Very important game here for this G2 Esports squad, but like I said before, very little practice for them, and they're performing greatly. Here comes the push right now from EXO. 1 goes down, but 3 go down for G2.
EXO doing a great job of answering back, and Shokoye trying to break through, denying those nades with the repulsor, backing down just to double back out. But Barcode and Straight Stick able to find the kill onto Huss, and that'll slow down EXO. But lucky the sword comes out, stabbed through the heart.
Great shot there by Barcode, the man we're talking about. Barcode, one of those players that, like I said, is going to be the X factor on this squad. They've played as 3, Sab, Gilkey, and Straight Stick for a while. They're just trying to find that fourth that really fit. And let me tell you something, from what we've seen in this tournament thus far, Barcode has fit this roster perfectly. His individual skill is incredible. And another person's individual skill that I love to watch is Straight Stick. He's been in the game for a while. A masterful FFA player. And he's transitioning that to 4s in a great way.
And not only is Straight Stick shot absolutely incredible, but his movement is on point as well. Dropping down, taking down Shokoye, grabbing himself a camouflage, and even the ball as well, doing it all for G2 Esports. Half the team of EXO are on the black screen. Huss and Shock find himself a kill. Straight Stick aware of it. He needs to make sure he does not go down with his active camouflage.
A great bait there, but he's gonna get traded out. He left the sword down bottom to grab that ball, and it's all about priorities at that point, right? That sword is very important on this map, but I'm sure the communication came through to his team, and he allowed someone else to get dab as he got the ball, but looks like EXO starting to put some time on the board here. They're up to 13 seconds already. They're approaching this 35-second lead.
G2 looking to break this setup, and with Huss having the ball, forcibly able to play the ball off the map and forcing that reset. Now we're going to see EXO and G2 try to push onto the gold side of the map, trying to get as close as possible to the ball, but with Sab dropping double kills on the feed, it's going to be hard for EXO to recover.
You see them taking advantage of that spawn on the Huss right there. He's on the top gold side. He does go down. He was a staggered spawn. They were able to time the spawn so that they could push him alone. His teammates were still coming up. And that's what you got to kind of do. You got to take that timing. Make sure you push those spawns. Get those easy kills so that you have numbers in the end. G2 doing a great job of that. And Straightsik having a great game right now. 7-4 to start.
We talked so much about Barcode and his ultra-fast play style, his creativity that he brings to the map, and it worked over in ANZ, but we question whether it would work in North America, and clearly he is finding the perfect kill with the shock rifle onto Shock. And now we're seeing G2 soak up some good ball time here. Gilkey gonna be forced to play it. They look to reslay, regain, and maybe take control once again. A 41-19 lead out of G2 Esports.
This is something that's so great out of Gilkey right there, Tony. Knows when to be aggressive, knows when to play back. He's one of the best back players in the game. But when that opportunity arises where he can push an advantage and push together with and push on a flank, he'll take it. And he did just there. And because of that, G2 continue to add time to this lead. They're up to 51 seconds already.
Barcode tries to get out of dodge. Alex Shock not gonna allow that to happen. Meanwhile, Straightsik able to drop ball, gets to slay onto Bid Teaches, and G2 still putting time here. But as I say, that EXO break through, push down the doors, put G2 3 down. And now we're gonna see if G2 can get right back up. Do not allow EXO back in the game.
Want to focus on the assist column on the G2 Esports side. Almost 20 assists for this team, working together on so many kills. And you see that when they double push like that, they get the advantage. They're able to kind of break a setup easily. They got Bid Teaches down, one of the Slayers on the squad, but they're trying to get more. And once that break happens, you got to be careful. And look at Huss rotating the ball to his team that spawns on C.
Love that rotation coming out of EXO. The nades are starting to come though. G2 not gonna allow him to get away that easily. In fact, Barcode getting a double kill. Make that 3 down for EXO. G2 once again gaining control, and they're getting mighty close to that 100-point mark. EXO, how will you respond?
They've got to get one pick, Tony. They've got to get one, and then they can push that aggression. That damage on the Gilkey not going to be enough. That's only one shot of damage. They've got to get more, and unfortunately, 2 go down for G2, I'm sorry. That's going to mean that G2 has to play that ball. But they get some trades on the board here, and that's what they're looking for. Those are great trades on a G2. EXO go 2 down, so this ball will continue to stay on its spawn.
Once again, EXO going 3 down, and G2 already working close toward the ball. There is one player in Huss that's trying to find an angle here. And now we have a Straightsik in a very awkward position. He's not feeling comfortable. Jumps right back up, though. Bid Teach is going down to 1 shot. Now going to try to work onto Alex Shock. And Shock peels him from across the map. Straightsik thought he had the advantage in that one, but do not doubt Shock's shot. It's nasty.
Now, when I was talking to Bid Teaches, he said the same thing. Him and Shock are the Slayers in this game. And right now, both of them are struggling just a bit. 8-11 for Shock and 5-12 for Bid, so look for them to pick that up as time goes on. We're still in the very first round of this oddball game. They've still got plenty of time to make it happen.
I'm still trying to figure out how Huss has 0 assists. I don't know what's going on. 12 kills is impressive, but how are you playing over 3 minutes, over 4 minutes of gameplay and have no assist? I don't know what's going on here. Shokoye having plenty of assists, though, 10 on the board right now. Huss does end up going down before getting his 14th on the board. Shokoye gonna try to catch an angle, maybe bait this ball because he knows G2 might extend for it.
Taking a look at Barcode, 17-9 in this game. Shokoye on your screen, gonna end up falling, and Bid's gonna come staggered, but that's a good stagger right there because he gets the trade needed. It's not gonna be enough though. G2 Esports go up 1-0.
EXO, they need to dig deep. EXO have done amazing to make it here into the elimination round number 3, but I'm having a feeling they do not want their tournament life to end. Answer back. Show G2 what you got. Beat them on their best game type. That could be huge for EXO.
Great double kill by Sab, but he plays his life as well. 3 of his teammates go down. 1 just spawned. That's going to be Barcode. So look for Sab to create an opportunity where Barcode does have sight lines on him. He's stuck in the pipes right now, so he's got to be careful.
Sab gonna try to stay alive here, but his teammates are falling left and right. Goes right in for the melee. Able to find the kill onto Huss, and Alex Shock formerly of Gears of War. He ain't a Gears kid no more. He's a Halo kid now. Finds himself that shock rifle looking to make some plays. Meanwhile, Bid teaches whacking the body of his enemies. Okay. I'm liking the way EXO are coming in. I talk about not being afraid of the upper seed. They're not afraid. In fact, EXO feel like they're the favorites here as they put G2 3 down.
Something that comes with not respecting the team you're playing, which can be risky, is the fact that you're very confident, and that also shows in their very quick playstyle. Huss, unfortunately, is going to drop down into batteries, and he does not get that ball up. That's going to be a little bit of a blunder. One go down for EXO, and G2 searching for an opportunity to push this advantage.
Love the slays that we're seeing so far on the side of EXO. It hasn't accumulated to much, only a 14-point game right now. And with G2 finding the slays that they need, it's only a matter of time before G2 catch up here as they now have ball in hand. Shokoye gonna try to extend for the sword. Hopefully he can make a play with it. But G2, all that work that EXO were able to create, now G2 are right back in the driver's seat. They've now stolen the lead, and now EXO even falling one at a time.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate for EXO because, you know, they had a nice pipe setup with that ball, but unfortunately Huss could not get it up from the battery side, and because of that, they're not going to get any ball time off of this, and G2 Esports going to extend their lead, but 3 go down once again, and you're starting to see Bid Teaches and Shock starting to step up their slay game.
When in doubt, whip it out. Shokoye bringing the sword, getting the double kill, commanding respect as EXO once again take the lead. Huss and Bid gonna take back-to-back kills. G2 going 2 down, and now Shock having balls in hand.
43 seconds and counting for this EXO squad. Bid was on a very high power position there. The question is, can he keep it? You see Gilkey on the right-hand side pushing the glass. He has to stay alive in this situation. He's in a very powerful spot.
Bid Teaches trying to get over toward the pipe side. Able to go right at Gilkey, but Gilkey gonna win that slay. 14 kills, 10 assists out of the young man. Sword does come in. Shokoye able to find yet another one with the sword. Shokoye absolutely dominating here, putting his 17th kill on the board, gaining 11 assists, and now EXO still finding the numbers that they need. G2 going 3 down. EXO taking control here. We might be tied up here after round 2.
And you gotta look at both sides of the screen, right? Barcode doing exactly what we know he's gonna be able to do. Bid Teaches and Shock starting to slay up. It's a very even game. The problem is G2 have a 1-round lead. And they also have a break. 2 go down for EXO. They're pushing the advantage, but Shock, the play ball comes through, and he gets that ball in the turbine, waiting for his teammate to potentially pick it up and transfer it to the pipe side. But Huss is just being a nuisance in the back here. Look how much time he is causing his team to get to his point of view, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to delay so that your teammate can come for the assistance. Huss stays alive. Beautiful play by him.
Straight Sick gonna try to break it over toward the control side. The shots go in. Huss is gonna try to retreat over, but it's not gonna happen. Shock ends up going down. EXO getting caught a bit out. Luckily, Huss gonna answer right back in, but EXO going 3 down. G2 looking to grab a hold of that ball, looking to make waves here, get right back into their setup. G2 are not out just yet.
They get the kill on the Huss, which is exactly what they need to hold this elevator setup. 2 go down for EXO, and now a point to hold this ball on the elevator side. G2 have a lot of catching up to do, but they're gonna do it just like this with this incredible teamwork. Look at that. The drop down from Barcode to assist Sab. Picks up the ball as well. 3 dead momentarily for EXO. G2 have a lock on this setup.
I learned in kindergarten that teamwork makes the dream work. And clearly, that's G2's motto as well. The coordination to break some of these setups are so impressive. And when they get into their setup themselves, they can lock things down. A 68-60 lead, it looks like still in favor of EXO right now. And as we see G2 trying to claw their way back into the game, trying to get set up onto EXO and trying to make waves.
Keep you updated. I believe we lost the feed there. Please be patient with us, but what a great game. G2 had to come back in that second round, but that first round looked very convincing, Tony. And you know what? It came down to the slays. Like I said, Barcode stepping up in the role that he's supposed to set up in. Incredible job by him.
I'm actually getting word that I believe the game is still going on right now. We might have lost our feed here, but I can only assume it's a crazy game. In fact, I'll give you some of the sound effects. Pew, 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 pew.
Those are great.
Ball taken. And that's what's happening right now, but something of that sort. Not exactly, obviously.
Sounds like I'm in a theater right now. Absolutely incredible. I really do like the ability of EXO there to kind of outslay and be in a situation where, they're having control. G2 had complete control of that very first round, but EXO, like I said, Bid Teachers and Shock, the two main slayers of the squad, started to slay out, and they started to catch up because of it. And then the momentum kind of turned back the other way towards G2. We'll see what happens in this game.
Yeah, it was definitely a real fight with that round number 2, where I feel like in round 1, I don't know, G2 just kind of felt always in control of that round 1, and EXO always trying to respond, as opposed to early in round 2, it was EXO that were dictating the pace of that game and really kind of going back and forward a bit with G2. So love to see that out of EXO, and hopefully they can continue that, because I would love to see that go to a round 3 as opposed to G2 kind of dominating in one game and then carrying that momentum into the second.
Absolutely. It definitely gives you that confidence when you kind of keep the score close. It gives you the confidence to move on to that second game and know that you can contend. If you get completely blown out, I mean, you're looking at, a lack of confidence, and mental is so important, like I always say. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep you guys updated once we get the final score here. It looks like I just got the update, and G2 did win game number 1, Tony.
I can't say I'm surprised. EXO started off hot, but G2, they were always in it. And G2 ended up stealing away that round number 2, and ultimately it's going to be a 2-0 in favor of G2 as they go up 1-0 in the series. And now we get to see what EXO really made of. Like you said before, EXO said they don't respect their opponents. Now what happens when you fall 0-1? Does that attack your mental, or are you able to bounce back? Are you able to kick it into gear?
It depends. It all depends on how confident they really are. Not respecting your opponents can come back to bite you. Like I said, you got to sometimes respect your opponents so that you can play based on how they're playing. If you don't respect them and you kind of just challenge every 1v1 piv, and then you start losing those 1v1 pivs, that ends up being bad on your end because you're down in numbers, and then the team's going to take advantage like G2 did with that oddball time. But we'll see. G2 is a very strong oddball team. That's one of their strongest game types, or, objective game types. So we'll see if they're able to continue this now in the Slayer, which is also apparently one of their best game types, is a Slayer as well. So we'll see what happens. And I can imagine that. Barcode, incredible Slayer on this squad. I love to see him come from ANZ. I talk about it all the time. It's good to see him here.
Yeah, I was going to say, bad news for EXO. You have 2 of their best game types starting off the series, and now you're going to have to try to beat them in at least one of their best. G2, I call them the ultimate defensive team. And in a game type like Slayer, where they're really able to slow the game down, when they're really able to count on the mistakes that you make, that's what makes them so dangerous. Kind of similar to Oddball. Right. They want to get that ball, get themselves in position, sit there, watch every single angle, and the moment you go 2 down, that's when they aggress. That's when they put on you. That's when they punish you, and that's going to carry over to game 2, which is a Slayer, of course.
And you can tell there's a little bit of holes in G2 Esports game. There was times where EXO started to get some ball time, and it seemingly was for free. But again, that's because G2 hasn't had much time together. Literally, Barcode just came over, and so they need practice. And something that KotH said, this is what he said. This is a stark difference, a very humble side of the story, a stark difference from what we heard from Bid. KotH says, we're taking this opportunity to see how far we can go with little practice, and taking each game as a chance to win, or a chance to learn, win or lose. I love that mentality. They're trying to see as far as they can go. They don't have a lot of practice, and they're just taking the chance to learn. That's exactly the mentality of a top-tier coach and a top-tier organization. G2, with this Barcode switch, it's going to be great. Can't wait to see their future.
And it don't help that while you're learning, while you're practicing right now, you end up earning yourself a little bit of money. Because as of right now, G2 1 round away from making it into that top 8, and that's when it starts to come in. Tim, I told you we should have made a team. I'm telling you, man. I get top 20, we get lucky, maybe a DQ here and there. I don't know. Maybe we could have been where EXO are, where G2 was. I don't know why you want to do it.
I mean, Tony, you know I'm on mouse and keyboard. There ain't no winning for us, brother, okay? I'm going to be sitting in the back, missing all my shots, whirlwinding like there's a tornado in my house. You don't want to see that, all right? These guys are here for a reason, and we're here on this desk for a reason. And let me tell you, it's been a pleasure this weekend casting with you, and we got so much more to go. Very excited about this next matchup. It's going to be Catalyst Slayer. And to be honest with you, this is an interesting one, Tony. G2 Esports lost this in a Game 5 to the Pioneers. So a very interesting type of situation we got going on here. And again, speaking of Pioneers, they just 3-0'd Oxygen Esports in the bracket. So whoever wins this series right here will not only get top 8, will not only get pool spots at Orlando, but will also get to play Pioneers in the next round.
That can be huge. And as of right now, G2 already up 1-0 in the series. And going into this game number 2, I'm sure they're feeling confident, especially in their slaying ability. You got that skewer, you got the sword. Don't forget about how creative you can get with the grapple and repulse. Not only use offensively, but also defensively, and also use a combination with your movement. And then that overshield that everybody is going to be fighting for, spawning right in toward the middle of the map. The game changer. One of my favorite things to do is go onto that skewer side of the map, grab a hold of that grapple, get into a bit of a safe position, and then bring that overshield over to yourself. And forget about extending yourself into a bad position. If you can grapple the overshield back to yourself, it can be huge, used as bait, and then obviously turn the tides with those double shields.
It's definitely important to get that OS with that grapple. And the last time G2 Esports played this game type, like I said, it was in a Game 5 against Pioneers, 50-49. And if you heard Coach Callis, he said we're playing to learn and improve no matter win or loss. Let's see if they've improved on the mistakes they made that match. And let's also see if EXO can bring up the confidence in this game number 2 after losing that first one. Here we go. Game number 2, Catalyst Slayer.
My player to watch out for is going to be Sab. Sab, normally that entry frag player, the best slayer normally on this team before bringing Barcode along, but he's the entry frag. He's the one that's supposed to enter in and put so much damage and open up those opportunities for his teammates. Now, the problem is that Slayer Catalyst, at that point, they're going to be holding hands a little bit. They're going to be pushing in tandem in those, those 2-man push, those 3-man pushes, and I wonder how that's going to work as G2 go 3 down, and Sab going to be the final player. That overshield is for anybody to take over, and Huss going to be the one to grab a hold of it.
That's a big one right there. EXO getting that very first OS. It is halfway gone, but definitely a good spot to be, and he also has that sword, so wants to make use of it. But look at the defense from G2. Incredible job playing their life here, though, is Huss, and Bid is going to get those 2 kills. The Slayer on the squad cleaning up.
8-3 lead coming out of EXO right now, when Huss still holding on to that sword, has 1 grapple to work with, and I believe he did end up going down. So now we're going to switch over towards Shokoye, who's going to try to pick up some one-shot players. Be careful, there's 3 members of G2, and now with those nades, they know exactly where he's coming from. G2 push up and get knocked back. 2 players getting repulsed.
Right now you're watching the movement master of EXO, said by Bid Teaches. This man Shokoye is a movement master. Gets around the map. See the curb slide, 1-on-1 we're watching here. Great use of the repulsor as well, but Barcode and Gilkey get the kills, and look at that, 2 down for EXO. Make that 3, Tony. G2 looking real solid, but they still are losing by 2 kills.
G2 starting to heat up here. Skewered now in the hands of Sab, could be a game changer. Overshield about to come up, and he has 1 grapple left. Huss and Shokoye on the opposite side. Bid gonna try to push over toward the skewer side and get a bit of a flank. This when damage comes in. Overshield's up. I talked about that grapple into overshield. It's such a dangerous combination, and Sab is able to reap the rewards.
EXO got the first OS. Weren't able to make much of it. Sab's got this second one. The value is what I'm looking for here. Are you able to get value out of this overshield, or is it just going to get squandered like the first one? Let's see if Sab can convert.
Sab now going to grind forward here. Looking to convert this overshield into some slays, but goes down to 1 shot. Now forced to back down. And EXO knowing exactly where he's coming from here. Look at him trying to find an angle with the skewer. Just barely going to miss. Huss ducking right below that javelin. Just a 1-kill game. G2 looking to slay out here on the red side.
Now we're even for Oasis, and we're almost even in score as well. But it looks like EXO pulling out with a little bit of a lead. G2's got to do a better job of kind of working together, making sure that they're pushing his 2. Like you said, it's the buddy system on Slayer, especially on this map. Spawns being so ambiguous. They're not static like other maps. These spawns are dynamic, and it makes it really hard to understand what the timer's at. There it is with that double Barcode. Beautiful job, but where the timer's at on the spawn, and if what's not being covered. They can spawn back of your base, car side, P side. There's a lot of spots. You got to make sure you cover them all. But G2 has brought this within 1.
The spawns may be dynamic, but so is G2. That was an excellent play by Barcode. And now it's Gilkey that still has 4 bullets in the skewer right now. Just waiting for things to line up. Both of these teams absolutely slowing it down. No team wanting to make any mistakes whatsoever. The pings go in, but making too much noise with the skewer. Gilkey gonna go down. So was Shokoye off the screen. Switching gears to Bid teaches target prioritization on point right there, but Barcode ends up shutting him down. Still a 1-kill lead in favor of EXO.
That 1-kill lead, even with it, as they tie it up, G2 just looks to have more control of the map. There are times where EXO will spot him out, and they'll get that singular kill. But more of the time, G2 is able to kind of capitalize on the mispositioning of EXO, and that's really what's starting to roll this snowball downhill. The snowball's getting bigger, Tony. Someone's got to stop it.
9 kills out of Barcode. He's gonna go outside of the map. This is my favorite play to do. Go outside. It's high risk, high reward. 1, 2, even has a grapple in the back pocket, and now he's right behind enemy lines. Barcode with the grapple movement. Shots go in. Forget about waiting for a play to come in. He's looking to make one, but Shokoye answers right back with the double kill.
Pay attention to Gilkey here. When Gilkey gets 13 kills or more, G2's win percentage jumps from 40 to 80% in the Pro Series. He averages 400 damage per death. That's value, if you ask me. That's called making an impact on the map. Gilkey, right now with 6 kills, 10 assists. Can he continue to slay it up for his squad so they can potentially win this game too?
10 assists out of Gilkey, 10 kills out of Barcode. Coincidence? I think not. Teamwork makes the dream work here as Sab repulsing 1 grenade back. But there's multiple EXO players pushing up, and somehow Sab is able to hold them off. And now he's gonna drop down, giving up his height positioning instead to get the double kill. Sab hitting him with the knick-knack paddywhack, and now immediately going for height.
And they're gonna capitalize on those numbers as well. They cut Shokoye all by his lonesome. And on top of that, they're rewarded an overshield due to the slays that came through. This is scary for EXO. Right now, G2's in a prime position to close this out.
Shock currently only 3 kills on the EXO roster, on the EXO squad right now. Meanwhile, Huss 11. But Sab is really going off. That's another double kill coming out of the main Slayer. He's making his presence known here on the map, and him and Barcode might be too much for EXO as they've busted this lead wide open.
Huss, the IGL of the squad, 11-9 right now. Doing a lot more slaying, but he's also got to bring this squad together. I always say IGL is a very difficult role. You got to slow down at this point. You're down by 6 kills. You've got to go for the picks, but you've also got to get not skewered by Barcode, who's behind your entire team right now.
Well, I prefer my in-game leads to be leading the slays as of right now. I want my in-game leader to be like Barcode or Sab. Lead by example. Show me to the promised land. As Barcode is taking faces with the skewer, now immediately dropping down. You see the push out of Shokoye and Shock. Another no-scope, another killing spree. Barcode, welcome to the U.S.
Welcome to the U.S. of A. Barcode, we love you. It's so great to see this talent move over to NA and be able to utilize his skill to raise a team on a pedestal like G2, who's been working so hard day in, day out to find the roster that fits, to find the fourth that fits. I think they found it here in Barcode. Barcode and Sab, 14-7 and 14-8. beautiful slays out of this squad. They only need 7 more to win.
28 kills out of the 2 main Slayer, make it 29. Meanwhile, EXO have only been able to accumulate 34 as an entire unit. That just shows you how strong and how valuable Barcode and Sab have been here on Catalyst. As Barcode catching 1 on the sword side, only 4 more kills needed. Give him that sword. Sword and grapple combination. Barcode looking to end this game.
Yeah, this game number 2 looks all but over. Barcode with a sword in hand, 4 kills left. Look at the checking of the corners. That is something you do in Counter-Strike, but now something people are doing in Halo as well. That playstyle works so many times, where you're just hiding and waiting for a push to happen. You can just break that push. But good players like Barcode are gonna check those corners and make sure that no one is on the flank.
Barcode now coming in with the sword on sword crime right now, and the duel goes in favor of Barcode. Taking down 1, and now just 1 more needed for G2 Esports to go up 2-0 in the series. EXO have played absolutely lights out, but it looks like their road might end here, at least on Catalyst.
With 17 kills and 16 kills out of Barcode, 17 kills out of Sab, you wonder, this squad is bound for greatness as they win game number 2 in a best of 5 versus EXO.
I've scanned Barcode. I've seen what I need to see, and let me tell you, that man's priceless right there. And you can't put a value on what he brings to the team. The movement, the ability to stay alive, the slays, the fact that he seemingly doesn't miss a shot. G2 are going places, especially with Barcode on the roster.
G2 look great. And like we said, I gotta stress this because it's very important. Very little practice for this squad. Barcode literally just got into the US, and not only little practice for this squad, little practice for Barcode. You know how those ANZQ times are. They're rough. Same thing with the when you're at a high skill level of Onyx. It takes a while to find games, and then unfortunately you're playing with that ping. But Barcode, that's what happens when you practice on that. You come here when it all works out, and look at him. He looks great.
And obviously, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Barcode and Sab. I mean, Sab was looking for a player that could really keep up with him as an entry fragger, and I think Barcode does it well. But can we also talk about Gilkey?
Oh, yes.
Because I'm pretty sure that man dropped 16.
Oh.
It was 16 assists. Look, 7 kills, 16 assists, dropping dimes left and right. Looking like a young Jason Kidd.
When you do 400 damage per death, that's what your scorecard is going to look like. One of the best back players in the game is Gilkey, putting shots in for his team as they push up and take advantages. This team, Tony, this team is starting to come together. G2 looks really good. You know, they're in the losers bracket. Unfortunately, they lost to G1, who also look incredible. But again, with practice and time, these guys are going to become a powerhouse.
The winners of this G2 and EXO matchup move over to play against Pioneers. G2 might be getting their rematch, might be going up against Pioneers. They met up earlier in Pool D, that pool of death that we talked about before. G2 finishing at the top. Coming up next, going to be Live Fire Strongholds. And we're going to see if G2 can pull off the sweep, or maybe if EXO can dig deep and show us why they got here to begin with.
Like Tony had said, the winner of this will be playing against the Pioneers. They will also get top 8. But again, they're playing against the Pioneers, and guess who's going to stream that one? It's going to be this stream right here. So make sure you stay tuned. This will be the last match of the day, and it's going to be a good one. But yet, we're not done with this. We still got Live Fire Strongholds up next. EXO have to pull something here. It's going to be tough. This G2 roster, as little practices they've had, look incredible. They're going to try and need to find some weaknesses. And honestly, I've been watching them, and I don't see any. You know, every player is doing their job. Every player is doing what they need to do. Let's see if EXO can potentially take a map.
Well, I mean, luckily for EXO, there's no swords on this map. You know, G2 having that samurai emblem, you know, obviously they're well-versed with the sword. Now it's only about the BRs. Now it's about your sniper rifles, and don't forget about the heat wave as well. G2 going up against EXO. EXO fighting for their tournament lives right now. They lose this one, they're going home.
So interesting seeing the starting strats out of both squads. You see Shock at the top of the tower, just trying to put shots in top center, but the push from Cuts and outside onto C plat, and all of that beginning strat is smashed into pieces as Barcode, the man on your screen, makes it happen. Overshield coming up right now. They got to fight for this.
And Barcode, not much of a fight right there. Overshield's free. He says free 99. That's my favorite flavor right there. Nobody able to contend with him in a trip cap in favor of G2 Esports. EXO, where are you?
They've got to do something soon. They've got to get in one of these points, but this is what the problem is with the trip cap. It's issues like this when Barcode has the overshield and they can just consistently push your spawn. 2 go down for each squad though. In a situation where maybe EXO can break through and get this C and B setup, but Gilkey is in the way and he's got a sniper in hand.
And that sniper looking at peel faces, misses the first one, won't miss the second one. Watch your heads, EXO. AB setup still in control for G2 Esports. We're actually seeing EXO look to extend over toward the A side, and G2 say no problem, we're just gonna simply out-rotate you, make it over towards C. Peeling Alex Shock right there. Gilkey and G2 Esports still in control.
I did a lot of watch parties of MCC Halo 3 and saw Gilkey be one of the best snipers in Halo 3. Let's see if he can continue that reputation here on Halo Infinite. A lot harder to snipe in this game, in my opinion, but that just makes the headshots so much more worth it. But he's also got the heat wave, and he's gonna melt Bid Teaches.
Gil gonna make his way onto the sandbag side, looking for that close quarters combat. Has a player in front of him. It's gonna be Shock, not for long. Killing spree being earned. The nades start to fly here, and that's a double kill. Of course, Gilkey coming in and absolutely setting the law here. Dubcap still being held. EXO looking for answers.
Great trade and great reaction time with that repulsor. Gilkey's gonna get that trade. That sets him up now in a 4v4, and they get a kill onto Shock. They're gonna take advantage of this.
Straight Sick on screen here, having Huss one shot behind him, trying to stay alive onto the pillar side. Able to find the shots he needs, but Huss gonna answer right back despite being one shot. Barcode coming in quick for the cleanup. And now you're seeing the entire EXO roster trying to collapse onto the B side, trying to make something happen, because 112 to 15 run. G2 now working for a momentary trip cap over towards the Alpha side. EXO are struggling right now.
You know what I'm seeing a lot of is I'm seeing a lot of power up and control in the hands of G2, and shout out to Coach Callis for that. Timing every single one of these weapons and also timing the equipment as well. All of it can be so useful when every second counts. Minute, of course, on that drop wall. Making sure to time that, and a minute on the repulsor respawn as well. G2 have a double cap for a few, but 160 to 15. EXO's gotta pull something out. Bid Teacher's having a rough game as well, 1-8.
It's really tough, and what can you do? G2 are flying at you, they're rotating well, they're winning all of their pivotal gunfights, and even more importantly, that teamwork is so tough to deal with. Finally, you see EXO working on a CB setup of their own, but you're seeing multiple G2 members surrounding the B side. EXO trying to break through. You see the sniper in the hands of Sab, just barely missing out on that one, but has a heat wave in the back pocket. Shokoye goes down to one shot, ends up going down, and once again, G2 in firm control here on Live Fire.
Sab and Barcode just started playing together. You see the trust right there, though, knowing that Barcode was going to get that kill. He turns to the mud with a sniper, tries to get a pick of his own, and finally, EXO have their very first overshield. What value will come of this?
They need it. They need to get some value. They need to get a fresh 3 down. They need to do it quickly because G2 are gaining points fast. But as I say that, Gilkey and Sab finding 1 and 3 down go EXO. There's no way they can stop the push that G2 create unless they keep bodies on the map. The Slays are going in favor of G2. They're now holding on to a trip cap. EXO, it might be over. It simply might be done. They might be getting swept here in elimination round 3.
Barcode just looks so good. Not only him, but look at Gilkey, 12 and 3, 16 and 6 out of Barcode. Some great assists all around on the squad as well. G2 looking very solid right now. In 20 more seconds, they will secure top 8 in this tournament and also a pool play spot in Orlando.
I talked about it yesterday. G2 weren't looking good in the beginning of the season, but they have since figured it out. And even before Barcode came, they were starting to find some success in scrims and even in the open events as well. And now that Barcode is here, this team looks like they're ready to start contending for the top 6 and the top 4s and beyond. G2 looking like they might be able to go toe-to-toe with maybe even some of the elite. 231 to 55 lead going still in favor of G2. Huss will end up going down as we switch gears over towards Gilki as they look to try to find an entry point out of the seaside.
45 kills out of G2 right now. A stark difference from the slays on EXO. And Gilki looking to lead that up and continue to slay with that sniper coming up in 3 seconds and 3 dead for EXO. This might be all she wrote very soon, Tony.
It just might be. And it's a shame because I'm a big fan of these EXO boys, but sadly, their road ends here as the melees come in. Shock does find the kill onto Barcode, so that was quite impressive indeed. And holding on to a CB setup right now with EXO. G2 momentarily having the numbers. Shock getting caught a bit out of position there. And now we're seeing G2 take advantage, stealing both Charlie and Bravo at the very same time.
And you saw a little spark of brilliance there from EXO, but you saw right there as well, Sab went to top tower instead of getting in that C hill to establish map control and establish height advantage as well. Very intelligent play out of him, but 3 go down for G2. EXO's starting to show a little bit of life, but is it too little too late is the question. 237 to 91.
EXO going to try to take advantage of these numbers. They know exactly where G2 are spawning, and now they have to watch those entry points. Bid teaches taking down Gilki right off the rip. The nades start to fly, and Sab will go down. And with that 2 down, EXO advance onto the alpha side of the map. Heads up play by Huss. He has one more piv to win, and Straight Sick simply doesn't lose those.
That was a huge win by Straight Sick. They secure that A, and now potentially performing a push on the outside here. Straight Sick with a killjoy stays alive as well. What a beautiful job by him. Is he gonna make that jump? Look at the practice, man. This is what grinding gets you right here. It gets you an incredible organization in G2 and potentially top 8 really soon. But as I say that, EXO's still putting time on the board.
Yeah, how dare you? I grind plenty. I still can't do that jump. 2 down. Go EXO. G2 finally finding the way onto the A side. It looks like they have to break through and try to win a piv onto the A. Straight Sick ends up taking down Shokoye. Straight Sick now gonna work onto Bravo, and this might be it. EXO having one last push onto speed they go. Straight Sick gonna get the double to put them both down, and that's gonna be it. G2 Esports not only taking the game, but taking the series. 3-0 sweep, says the janitors.
Wow, congratulations to G2 Esports. They're gonna be making top 8 so far in this tournament, but have qualified for the pool spots in Orlando with little to no practice, but with determination and an incredible Australian player in Barcode. G2 looking really good.
Australian player, I don't know what you're talking about. Barcode lives in Texas right now.
That is true.
He's in Texas. They
That's
don't get
true.
much more American than that. Barcode, welcome to the U.S. 250 to 140 win on Strongholds after a 2-0 display in game number 1, and then a 50 to 40 win in that Slayer. G2 Esports not only winning this series, but making a statement, pointing out Pioneers and saying, you're up next.